Hello, Gnellstones! Last time we had Ashen's slow American cousin tell us about a cancer cure that doesn't cure cancer. Continuing that theme, this time we will have someone tell us about a cause of cancer that doesn't cause cancer. That someone is Tunis Hunt, who seems upset about some hard words he's been finding on the back of sunscreen bottles.
Hi there, this is Dr. Tunis Hunt, and welcome to another Hunt for Wellness blog.
Don't let the fancy title fool you. He's not an MD. He's a chiropractor.
Today I'm outside enjoying one of my favorite pastimes, and that's soaking up the rays.
Sounds fucking boring if you ask me, but fair enough.
As summer approaches, many of you are going to be doing the same thing, going out by the pool, the lake, the beach,
The weird plastic house.
wherever you go to get the sunshine. But many of you might be making a mistake with your health by lathering on toxic sunscreen. Yeah, that's what I said, toxic sunscreen. Most people don't realize just how toxic or how many chemicals are laden in those sunscreens.
I take it that basic chemistry skills isn't required to gain a doctorate in inducing the placebo effect by fiddling around with people's spine. Being toxic and containing a lot of chemicals are not synonymous.
If you've ever looked at a bottle of sunscreen, you'll probably turn it over and see tons of ingredients that are hard to pronounce.
Not sure how that's relevant, seeing as the difficulty of pronouncing the name of a compound doesn't have any bearing on its properties. But I'm sure the world's chemists are very sorry about not giving each of the millions of known chemicals an easily pronounced name.
Things like dioxybenzone or oxybenzone and other cancer-causing agents.
So out of the tons of cancer-causing agents, you pick two related compounds which are neither hard to pronounce nor known to be carcinogenic.
So when I go out in the sun, I don't ever really use sunscreen actually. In fact, one of the best things you can do for your health is getting uninterrupted sunshine. What I mean by that is allowing the sun to soak into your skin for about 20 to 30 minutes every single day. See, what happens when you do that is that it converts the cholesterol in your body into vitamin D.
Yes, the UVB rays in sunlight does indeed convert cholesterol into vitamin D, but using sunscreen isn't going to make you deficient.
Vitamin D is the most popular vitamin on the market right now as far as preventing heart disease, cancer, and all the other chronic diseases.
In that case, people might be wasting their money, as the evidence has been rather inconclusive when it comes to vitamin D's effect on those conditions.
And many of you may have had your vitamin D levels checked or even taken a vitamin D supplement, but one of the best things you can do is actually just come out and enjoy the sunshine. So I encourage you to do that this summer for sure.
You seem to be implying that getting vitamin D by being in the sun is somehow better than getting it from dietary sources, which wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, seeing as it's the same fucking compound.
A lot of people are concerned about skin cancer, and they think that lathering on the sunscreen is going to prevent them from that.
And unlike you, they would be right.
Well, let me ask you this. Why then does so many Middle Eastern countries or Ecuadorian countries, countries by the equator, their populations has very low incidences of cancer or skin cancer, yet they don't wear any sunscreen? And it's not because they're special or they got some kind of genetic code that's different than ours.
Yes it does. It's called having darker skin.
It's just they're not exposed to as many toxins as we are.
As there are a lot of people in the US whose recent ancestors lived in that part of the world, that's fairly easy to test actually. Thanks, slavery. Conveniently, the CDC has already done that and made some handy graphs. And as you can see, there are some rather large differences in skin cancer rates between the races in the US. So how do you explain that, Dr. Sunshine?
So it's not the actual sun that's creating the cancer, in my opinion. I believe it's the toxins that we're exposed to. One being the sunscreen, the other being the chemicals and the lotions and the different things we put on our bodies. Did you know the average woman puts on about 515 different chemicals every single day?
Did you know that the Apollo astronauts left bags of piss on the moon? Anyways, firstly, as I've already explained, a lot of chemicals doesn't equal toxic. If it did do that, eating dinner would kill you. Secondly, the link between exposure to UV radiation and an increased risk of skin cancer is so well established that most of the people watching are wondering why I'm even bothering to state it. Oh, and thirdly,
And so when you go out into the sun, The sun helps detoxify, and so the sun helps bring those toxins to the surface. Well, if you're laden with sunscreen, they can't get out, and so it resonates underneath the skin, and therefore can cause melanomas and other disruptors.
Oh, it just keeps getting dumber and dumber. Detoxification is the chemical modifications of harmful substances done by the body to limit their effects and facilitate their excretion. So even if sunlight did cause toxins to be expelled through the skin, which it doesn't, it wouldn't be detoxification. Resonance refers to the phenomenon of oscillating systems having higher amplitudes at certain frequencies, and so has nothing to do with chemicals interacting. And no, sunscreen doesn't trap unspecified toxins under the skin.
So I don't believe it's necessarily the sun that's causing the cancer as much as the toxins that we're exposed to, whether it's our drink or water, our lotions, our food supplies, you name it.
And if you just keep saying it, I'm sure it will come true someday. No, really, it will.
If you're going to be in the sun, however, for a long period of time, I don't recommend you burning. So what you need to do is you need to take a light shirt or a hat or a blanket or something, cover yourself up if you're going to be out there all day.
Wow, in the proper context, that would actually be good advice. The proper context being that you shouldn't rely solely on sunscreen for protection.
There are such things as natural sunscreens or safer sunscreens. My family uses them all the time, especially when we go to the beach or if I know I'm going to be at a pool all day long. I don't maybe want the exposure all day, so I will lather up or put on some natural sunscreen.
But you just said you didn't use sunscreen.
Zinc oxide or titanium oxide are great minerals that you can be found in some natural sunscreens such as coconut oil or aloe vera as well.
Both zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, which is the titanium oxide you're referring to, are used in commercial sunscreens, making them two of those hard-to-pronounce names you were so upset about. Not that that means mixing them into coconut oil will give you an effective sunscreen. Even if you somehow had access to the equipment needed for adequate mixing, you wouldn't have any way of avoiding clumping. You would also still be facing a further problem, in that the coconut oil, just like the olive variety, actually makes you tan faster. Sunscreen just isn't something you can make yourself in the kitchen.
So I highly recommend you find something like that instead of using some of the toxic-laden ones that are so prevalent in our society.
Need to heat your food? Don't use the ovens that are so prevalent in our society. Just use the heat from rubbing your hands together. It's the natural way.
So enjoy this summer, enjoy the sun, soak up the vitamin D, get the healthy skin and hair and nails that you need by simply getting the best source of vitamin D, and that's the sunshine.
Except that vitamin D has no effect on the health of those. In fact, sunlight damages your skin and hair. Tanning is literally the body's response to the DNA damage caused by the UV rays.
So until next time, this is Dr. Tunis Hunt helping you on your hunt for wellness.
I help you decide to provide despite having no idea how the human body works or what the words you use mean. Thanks. And a huge and non-sarcastic thanks to you, Gnatostomes. Not just those of you watching this, but also to the nearly 500 of you who subbed. You guys are seriously fucking awesome.